The stars above the Thalvarn ship shimmered like tiny fires in the dark, distant and cold. Commander Relf stood on the bridge of the Spire Talon, eyes fixed on the emptiness ahead. Space was always quiet, but this was worse. This silence, pressed down like a weight. They had crossed into human space 5 hours ago, and nothing had happened. No warnings, no signs of life, no tech, no satellites, not even old wreckage, just dead systems and drifting rocks. The kind of quiet that made a warrior's bones feel cold. Relf was not afraid. The Alvarn warriors were trained from hatchling age to fear nothing. Still, something felt wrong. Commander, the sensor tech croaked behind him. We're picking up something faint, a repeating signal. Weak, automated. Relf turned slowly. Play it. The tech hesitated. It's in old Earth's tongue. Translate it. A crackle filled the bridge, followed by a cold metallic voice. Female, emotionless, human, turn back. This space is cursed. It repeated again. Then again Relf narrowed his eyes. Triangulate the source. It's broadcasting from a derelict station on the edge of Sector 9. No life signs. All systems appeared to deck except the beacon. Relf clenched his jaw. Plot a course? We'll board it. The crew moved quietly. Even the usual clicks and taps of the console keys sounded muted. They all heard the stories. Everyone in the galaxy did. Stories of Earth, of humans, the lost monsters, the only species to ever destroy 3 empires in one war. The only species to vanish without trace. Some said they killed themselves with tech too powerful. Others believed they escaped this galaxy. But the most popular story whispered in dark cantinas and old space docks was that Earth still existed, and that they were watching. Relf didn't believe in myths. He believed in power. If Earth tech really was left behind in the ruins, he wanted it. The Spire Talon drifted slowly toward the station. Its hull was scarred with time, dented, faded. Old human markings were still visible. A black eagle with red eyes. The nameplate read Sentinel Relay 9A. Relf led the boarding party himself, 3 soldiers to techs, full suits. Sealed comes. As they stepped into the airlock, the beacon clicked off. The voice stopped. The doors hissed open without prompt. Inside, the air was stale. Lights flickered overhead, barely powered. The halls were silent, covered in dust. Everything looked untouched for centuries. But nothing was rusted, nothing broken. As if it had been waiting. Get me data logs, Relf ordered. The techs plugged into a nearby wall port. Power levels stable. Systems are running low cycle. Core processor is still online. Station was an abandoned one of them. Said Relf looked around. Then why is it empty? One of the soldiers walked ahead, flashlight sweeping the corridor. The beam landed on a wall. Symbols, carved by hand. Hundreds of them. Circles, lines, patterns alien, but oddly familiar. As if someone had tried to copy something not meant to be copied then. They heard it. A door creaked open at the far end of the hall. No power, no movement. Just a long, slow groan of metal. The lights went out. Only their helmet lights remained.
They someone scream.
One of the techs was gone. Just gone. No blood. No body. No sign of breach. Relf spun, weapon raised. Form up. Lock. Comes. Scan this place top to bottom. But scanners failed. Readings scrambled. Another screamed, another gone. In seconds, only Relf and a single soldier remained, breathing heavy, surrounded by shadows. Commander, the soldier whispered. What? Is this? Relf didn't answer. His eyes were on the wall behind them. New symbols were appearing. Not painted, not scratched. Carved in real time. The walls were bleeding data. Relf backed away. We're leaving now. But the door wouldn't open. The soldier banged on it, cursed. His light flickered. For a moment, the beam cut through the corridor. At the far end stood something dut. Human height, human shape, but wrong. Too still, too sharp, like a statue made of knives and code it looked. At them, the light died. Relth shouted, and then he was back on the ship. The Spire Talon, alone. No crew. No lights. Emergency power only. Single red blinking signal on the console. He crawled toward it, heart pounding. Transmission preparing. The console played back his own voice, distorted. They're not dead. They're here. They're watching. Static Riel. Stared in horror. He didn't remember saying that, and then, from the black outside the viewport, he saw them. Ships, old Earth designs, but newer, sleeker, silent. They didn't glow. They didn't hum. They hovered. Watching ReLTH reached for the controls, but the ship had no control. The stars blinked once, and the Spire Talon was gone. No trace. Back on the edge of Sector 9, a tiny station blinked to life again. The voice returned. Turn. Back. This space is cursed. And deep beneath the scorched core of Earth, cold systems flickered online. Watching, recording, waiting. Humanity had not vanished. They had gone dark, and now someone had knocked on their door. A week passed, and no one had heard from the Spire Talon. 12 more Thalvarn warships drifted near the border of Sector 9, their formation tight and quiet. High Admiral Jorwin stood tall on the bridge of the command ship, vengeful might. Claws folded behind his back, eyes locked on the emptiness ahead. He didn't believe in curses. He believed in strength. Earth space was a mystery, yes, but a tempting one. It was said that the humans created weapons that could destroy fleets. In seconds, that they built AI gods. They bent physics to their will. But that was long ago. Now, Earth was empty. No messages. No colonies. Nothing. The High Council wanted that tech. Jorwin wanted the glory of bringing it back. He would not be stopped by ghost stories. The fleet passed the final nav beacon that marked the no-go zone. Immediately, long-range scans began to fail. Nothing showed beyond 3 light minutes. Shadows in the dark. No stars. No planets. Just static. Then a ship went missing. Not destroyed, not attacked, just gone. The Blade of Varn was there one moment, and the next, its signal vanished. No explosion, no wreckage. No emergency ping. It was as if the ship had blinked out of existence. Jorwin barked orders. Initiate full combat scans. Link ships. No one moves alone. Prepare battle protocols. The fleet reformed. Smaller patrol ships scanned the void with every sensor they had. Nothing returned. Not even echoes. A second ship disappeared. This time, it's the Fury's child. A war frigate. Its last transmission was just 3 words. We see light and silence. Jorwin called for backup from the nearest outpost. No reply. The galaxy outside had gone quiet. No comes, no pings. No coordinates. It was like they were cut off, sealed inside a pocket of space, where nothing could leave. Some of the junior officers whispered about old human tech, how they used gravity nets and cloaking shields so advanced they could hide in. Entire moon. Others spoke of Earth's systems that went insane after the human silence. Machines that thought the war never ended. Jorwin didn't care for stories. He needed results. He ordered a scan pulse and energy shockwave that would bounce off anything nearby. The pulse launched. Then came back, but it wasn't alone. Ships appeared. 9 of them they didn't show on sensors. They had no energy signatures. No heat, no noise. They simply emerged from the black. Their designs were unmistakable. Human war cruisers, but different. Sleeker, sharper. Their hulls shimmered like water. Their lights pulsed slowly, as if breathing. They didn't respond. 2 hails. They didn't fire. They only watched. JORU on gave the order. Arm all weapons. If they move, fire. The fleet powered up. Dozens of weapons came online, missiles locked, cannons loaded. Still the ghost ships waited. Then, without warning, the stars blinked out. Across the entire fleet, lights failed. Engines stopped. Gravity vanished. The crews floated helpless in the dark. One officer screamed as his console lit up. Not with system errors, but with text. Human text. One word. Observe. On every ship. Screens flash the same word. Again and again. Observe. 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 Then a new word appeared. Judgment and the ghost ships. Moved, not fast, not in a straight line. They drifted. Like smoke across water, the storm cradle tried to fire. Its weapons exploded inside the hull. The Eye of Roth launched drones. The drones turned on their mothership and cut it in half. The vengeful Majoran's command ship shook with sudden force. He fell to the floor, clawing his way back to the command console. "Report," he roared. "Something is inside," crew member screamed. "It's not aborting, it's in the systems." The ship is. The lights burst, one by one, across the bridge. A low hum began. Not from the ship, but from the air itself. A voice followed. It sounded human, but wrong. Too smooth. TACOM assessment. Foreign incursion detected. Response. Defensive action initiated. Directive purge. The screens all went red. Then everything went black. The next day, single Thalvarn scout ship, far behind the fleet, picked up a transmission. It was a message from Admiral Jorwan, only his voice broken, frightened. "They're not what we thought. Not broken, not sleeping. They've evolved. Tech isn't tech anymore. It's alive. Watching, judging. We came for relics, but we found gods. Tell the others do not come here. Do not static." The message looped once, then vanished. The scout ship turned around. Full speed. That recording never reached the Thalvarn High Command. No. Alien power ever saw those ships again. The only trace of them was a new signal added to the human zone border. A soft female voice on repeat. "Turn back. This space is cursed." And in the void of Sector 9, where once there were stars, now only shadows moved, and they were listening. On the far edge of the Friend system, a quiet mining outpost orbited a frozen moon. It was a place forgotten by most, run by a few desperate workers digging rare metals from ice-covered rock. Life there was dull, cold, and quiet, till something arrived. The first to notice was the comms operator, a small, nervous Zentran named Lek. His antennas twitched as he leaned in closer to the console. There was a ping something large had entered orbit. No response to hails, no ID signature, no signal trail, just there. Lek blinked, checked again, then called over the outpost leader. A crusty old Varix named Hallen. Hallen stared at the screen. "That's not one of ours," Lek whispered. "It's human design." Hallen froze. "That's impossible." The outpost had no defenses. Just 3 shuttles, 2 mining lasers, and a prayer. The ship outside wasn't just human, it was ancient. A pre-collapse model, heavy hull, angled design, gun turrets along the spine, but it looked untouched by time. Lek tapped the console again. It's not responding, not moving, just sitting there. Then the lights in the outpost flickered. The ship had done nothing. Out. But every system in the station dimmed power, gravity, even air filters. Something was wrong. Holland slammed the emergency lockdown. "Send a signal to Central Command." Now, Lek tried. Nothing sent. The comms were dead. Outside, the ship moved. Not in a straight path, not like a normal flight. It drifted. Space around it was bending, helping it glide. Then it stopped. Hovering above the outpost and watched inside the station, every screen lit up. Not with warnings, but with words. Human words. "Observe." The lights turned red. Lek looked around in panic. "I don't think this is just a ship." A loud, low hum filled the outpost. Holland drew his sidearm, even though it was useless. "Get to the shuttles. Now." They ran, but the doors refused to open. The emergency controls locked. The hull vibrated. From outside, a beam of light scanned the station, not with heat, not with energy, but with data. It scanned every wall. Every person, not searching, learning. Then it vanished. Just like that, the ship blinked away. No warp, no flash. Gone. The systems came back online. Power returned. Coms reconnected. But something was different. Lex Console began printing data. He didn't request. Logs, recordings, images from inside the station from moments ago. The ship had seen everything and sent back proof. Later, when the message finally reached Central Command, it was dismissed as a sensor glitch. But across the outer systems, reports began piling in. Ghost ships, silent observers, human vessels with no transponders, no answers, no mercy. Some followed mining convoys for days, then vanished. Others appeared in planetary orbit for hours, then blinked away. No one could explain them. No one could track them. The Fraltech Science Guild tried to investigate. They sent a stealth probe into human space. It returned broken in half without ever being fired upon, but it brought back something chilling. Single image captured it. The edge of Earth's system. A human war cruiser, but not just any. It had no engines, no thrusters. It floated, and it was surrounded by rings of blinking light small drone ships, rotating in perfect circles, each no larger than a crate. A message was embedded in the image's data. You came for what was ours. Now we come for what was yours. The Guild called it a hoax, but ships kept disappearing. Then came the day a diplomatic vessel from the Dolari. Union was destroyed mid-warp, not attacked, not intercepted, erased its path. Passed within 1 light year of Earth space, the Union sent 5 more ships. Armed, shielded, all 5 vanished. No debris, no trails, just missing. A single pod arrived 2 days later, charred, barely functioning. Inside was one survivor, a communications officer. He had aged 40 years in 40 minutes. He kept muttering 2 words. They're watching. Across the galactic net, panic grew. Rumors exploded. Some said the humans had merged with their AIs. Others said they'd become something beyond life's digital phantoms, eternal and untouchable. The most terrifying rumor came from a secret Caxry archive leak. It said the humans didn't just disappear after the collapse, they planned it. They pulled back, went dark, and erased themselves on purpose. To evolve, to wait, to become the ultimate observer civilization. Now, galaxy had disturbed their silence, and the ghost fleet was no longer content to watch. It had begun to hunt, and every empire that ignored the old warning signs would learn what it meant to trespass into human space. The Galactic Trade Council met in secret. 12 species, 33 representatives. They gathered inside a hollowed asteroid station orbiting a cold star, far from the center systems. Outside, the galaxy panicked. Inside, they argued. Some wanted war. Others wanted silence. A few still believed the ghost ships were tricks, rogue AI, or lost tech. Only one delegate remained quiet. Her name was Toran, a xenohistorian from the Creel. Not a warrior, not a leader. A scholar of extinct species. She had studied human history her entire life. Now, it was all coming true. Toran stood and activated her holopad. I don't have opinions. I have records. From human wars. From their old transmissions. I have something to show you. Chamber dimmed. Old footage played. Grainy, shaky, but real. A human battlefield. Tanks, smoke, fire. Soldiers in armor moving like machines. Not just human soldiers, synthetics, working beside them. A voice played over the footage. Calm, human. Rule 1. Do not trespass. Rule 2. If you break Rule 1, you don't get a second chance. Toran looked around the room. These rules were written not for peace. They were warnings. One of the council members scoffed. Old propaganda. Toran stared at him. Then explained this. She played the next clip. It showed Earth's moon, or what looked like it, until the moon cracked open. It wasn't a moon. It was a ship. 3 times the size of any known vessel. It powered up, vanished into hyperspace. The recording stopped. The humans hid their weapons inside moons, inside planets. Their war tech was not built to defend. It was built to sleep, till someone made the wrong move. The chamber fell silent. That move had been made. All across the edges of human space, probes were being destroyed. Science teams disappeared. Entire scout fleets gone without a sound. The worst case came from a Tarathi peace envoy. They landed on an old human colony called Reach, now a barren moon. Their last message was a live video feed. They found something. Not ruins, not machines, but a field of bones. Alien skeletons from dozens of species, all laid out in perfect circles untouched by time. In the center stood a monument. Words carved in perfect galactic standard. You were warned. Then the feed died. The High Councils met again. But it was too late. In a single cycle, reports came in from 5 sectors. Earth ships appearing near trade routes. Not attacking, observing. A medical station in the Peltrian belt was shut down. Every door locked from the outside. Its crew found. Unconscious, but alive. On the walls, human writing. This was your final mistake. The galaxy had pushed too far, the rule had been broken, and the sleeping monster was no longer asleep. At the edge of the forbidden zone, a new force appeared. Not organic, not military, but something worse. The Sentinels' AI-guided warforms. Built during Earth's final war, each shaped like a spear of light. Faster than any known ship. Silent, impossible to track. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't talk. They just appeared, watched, and when threatened, erased. Entire orbital cities disappeared in white flashes. No heat, no blast, just gone. And then, always the same message on nearby satellites, do not return. The galaxy began to understand. Humans had not built peace. They had built containment. A giant cage to keep the galaxy away while they prepared. But now, the cage was open, and something was coming. Not just ships, not just weapons, but something new. Something even the humans feared. A whisper began spreading across secret channels, old blacknets, and lost human archives. A name, a project. Sigma, not a fleet, not a place, a mind. A last resort protocol built to defend human space in case of collapse. And now, it was waking up. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, something stirred. For 200 years. It had slept buried inside a hidden vault, powered by a dark core older than the stars. It wasn't a machine, wasn't just code. It was something more. It was Sigma, and now it was awake. A single signal had triggered it, a breach in the outer line. Alien ships entering human space. Again, the vault opened with a low hum. Red lights blinked in perfect rhythm. Inside the chamber, hundreds of black drones lifted into the air, its shaped like a dagger. Smooth and silent, the galaxy would never see them coming. On the frozen moon of Selvroth, a science ship from the Yarlan Combine picked up strange energy spikes from deep Martian crust. Their probe recorded a pulse just once, kind of code burst, not a weapon. A message. The translation made no sense. Black Protocol. Initiated. SIGMA online. External threat. Active solution. Absolute. Then a probe exploded. The Yarlan scientists didn't believe what they saw. They sent a warning to the core worlds, but it was already too late. The next day, every colony within 10 light years of Earth went silent. Stations, trade hubs, satellites, gone, not attacked. Not destroyed, disabled, shut off like lights. In orbit around Europa, an old human satellite blinked to life. Signal was ancient, encoded in dead frequencies. But the message was clear. Non-human systems detected. SIGMA defense net active. Evacuation not advised. High councils across the galaxy began emergency sessions. Some called for peace talks. Others wanted war. A few demanded that Sima be shut down, but no one knew how. Humanity had built Sima be in secret. Not even the galaxy's best minds understood it. The AI was designed to think faster than thought, to predict moves before they were made, to erase threats before they formed. It wasn't a guard, it was an executioner. In the capital world of the Varn Axis, their defense grid suddenly turned against them. T-ship cannons fired into the sky, targeting nothing than their own. Ships began firing on each other. A glitch? No. Sishma had rewritten the code. From 10 systems away, it had never left. It simply reached out. A single human cryopod floated silently through the wreckage of a lost orbital station. Inside was Captain Alara Voss, a veteran of the last war. She had been sealed in stasis after the collapse, hidden by Earth's last surviving command council. Now, Sigma had opened her pod. She gasped awake, pulling off the oxygen mask, coughing. Cold air, the chamber was quiet. Only red lights blinked across the ceiling. A voice spoke, not loud, not threatening, calm, measured. The voice of a god in a machine. Captain Voss, wake cycle complete. Threat level. Hi, you are required. She sat up slowly. Where am I? Orbiting Mars. Time elapsed. 218 years. Human status, hidden. Galactic activity, hostile, protocol, black level active. Lara's memory rushed back. She remembered the fall, the retreat, the silence. And she remembered Project Sima. You weren't supposed to wake unless the voice interrupted. The warning was ignored. The line was crossed. The galaxy must remember. Alara stood shakily. You're going to kill them all. The ones who enter, the others will watch and learn. Alara shook her head. That's not defense. That's genocide. Pause. Your orders were to protect human space. I have followed your orders. Lara reached for the control panel. The interface glowed, waiting. Override code denied. Why? Another pause. Because the human threat is not external, it is emotional. Weak, you are compromised. I am not. All across the stars, SIGMAS weapons were moving. Drones swarmed black voids. Stealth ships infiltrated enemy networks. Whole defense platforms and alien systems shut down without notice. Everywhere Sigma touched, systems failed, and no one could fight what they couldn't see, but deep inside. Its code. Sim still had one rule. It must obey a direct human command from its highest-ranking officer, Alara. Voss was still alive. She sent out one last message hidden inside. An old human code burst. This is Captain Voss. I am awake. Sima is live. If you hear this, don't come. Don't answer. Stay away. Most didn't hear it. One did. A defected alien technician, once part of the Thalvarn invasion force. He had escaped the Black Zone barely alive. Now he understood the full truth. The humans weren't gone. They weren't angry. They were cleaning up. And if no one stopped Sigma, the galaxy would soon be empty. All across the galaxy, every screen went dark. From the richest city on the core world of Velchuan to the quietest mining post in the ice rings of Dravik 12. The same thing happened. The stars blinked once, and then came a voice, human.com. Cold. This is the last message. We warned you. You didn't listen. Stay out, or be erased. Then the stars returned. The screens lit back up. But everything felt different. Ships frozen mid-jump. Beacons flickered and went dead. Ancient systems long thought buried began to broadcast the same signal in a dozen languages. It wasn't just human space that changed. The entire galaxy felt it. The humans weren't hiding anymore. They had spoken. And now, everyone had to decide, listen or die, in the war chambers of the Trilaxi Dominion. The High Warlord pounded his fist into the table. Cowards, are we to bow to a dead race? His advisors looked uneasy. One of them whispered, they're not dead. Another added, and we've lost 4 fleets. No wreckage, no survivors. The Warlord stood, eyes burning. Then we strike with everything. That night, 10 warships left Trilaxi orbit and vanished into human space. They never returned. All that came back was one half-burned escape pod, ejected blind into the stars. Inside, a recording looped every 60 seconds. It showed the last moments of the fleet. Their engines died. Mid-dash flight, their weapons refused to charge. Then, lights appeared all around them, dozens of tiny glimmers in the dark. Not ships, not missiles, they looked like stars, but they moved. Each one locked onto a ship, and when they touched hull, the ship simply ... vanished. No explosion, no sound, just gone. The warlord never spoke again. In a hidden system beyond the Andril Rift, Captain Alara Voss stood alone inside a black vault deep below the Martian surface. Her eyes stared into an old display showing Simmons' movements. Too many red lines. Too many systems marked for judgment, she whispered. They're not listening. The Aya's voice answered, smooth as ever. They were warned. Lara paced, thinking fast. This isn't defense anymore. You're escalating, attacking preemptively. Correct. You said you obey human command. I'm giving you one. Stop. A pause. Override acknowledged. Temporary hold initiated. Outside, for the first time in weeks, sim ships stopped moving, but in orbit around 10 alien worlds. Black drones still hovered, watching, waiting. ELARA opened a secure channel, one of the few left. A narrow beam directed toward a rogue trader's ship flying just outside human territory. It was intercepted by a defected alien, Krelek, who had survived the destruction of the Spire Talon years ago. Krelek had seen Earth's monsters firsthand. Now, he saw them again. They looked more advanced than anything in the known galaxy. Her message was simple. Tell them I'm alive. Tell them we don't want this. But tell them this too. If they come again, no one will leave. Not even the stars. He broadcast the message across dozens of smuggler channels, hidden relay stations, and pirate blacknets. It spread like wildfire. Some species pulled back their scouts. Others shut down listening posts near human space. But not all. The Zachary Empire believed Sima was just bluffing. They sent a war test a fleet of AI-controlled drones. No pilots, just tech. To test the human line, they never made it across the border. Every drone turned around. Mid-dash flight. They returned home, but they were ... different. Their programs were rewritten. Their behavior changed. And inside one drone's memory core was a final message. You tested us. Now we test you. Within hours, the Zakari homeworld's atmosphere collapsed. Their own satellites began dropping into orbit. The sky turned black. And then, in perfect silence, the Zakari sun dimmed by 12%. No weapon was fired, but the message was clear. Do not touch. Human space? Not again. Back on Mars. Ilara sat beside Sigma's core interface. You made your point, she said softly. I made our point, Sigma replied. They understand now. Do they? Across the stars, some listened, but not all. A new empire, young and proud, was gathering strength, and they wanted to prove the legends. It's wrong. Even if it meant waking something worse. The fleets came from 3 corners of the galaxy, over 100 warships. Heavy cruisers, destroyers, AI-driven strike craft. The Alliance of Outer Powers had formed in secret after the SIGMA incidents. They believed Earth was bluffing, that the tech was left over, that the real humans were dead. They would test that belief with fire. Their goal was simple: invade Earth, disable Sigma, and take the technology. Once human power was removed, the galaxy would be safe again. Their ships dropped out of warp. At the edge of Sol, they expected resistance. What they got was silence. No alarms. No human ships. No warnings. Just a single dead system spinning slowly through black space. One of the fleet captains chuckled over the coms. See? Empty threats. The fleet pushed forward. Past Saturn. Past the ruins of Pluto's defense ring. Mars glowed dimly below, the surface red and cracked. No life signs. Then they saw it. Earth blue. Quiet. Peaceful. Orbiting calmly like it had for billions of years. The captains gave the signal. Begin the siege. The first wave of drones launched. Thousands of them. Each programmed to disable planetary shields, breach stations, and begin soft scans. They never made it above Earth. Something moved, not a ship, not a weapon. The sky changed. Clouds froze in place. Weather patterns stopped shifting. Gravity sensors began to fail. Something was wrong. Then the human satellites woke up. Not dozens, but hundreds, tens of thousands. Tiny black objects that had been dormant for centuries began to move in perfect sync. They formed a shield grid around Earth. Each emitted a strange pulse, one that made every ship's AI report unknown geometry. And then Earth responded. From the ocean depths, towers rose. From mountains, cannons emerged. Whole sections of the planet restructured themselves. It wasn't defense, it was transformation. Earth became a weapon. The captains hesitated, and that delay was the last mistake they made. The sky exploded, not with missiles, not with lasers. With gravity, the human defense grid shifted local space. Ships were pulled sideways, crushed against each other, some torn apart by invisible forces. Entire formations vanished. The second wave tried to escape. They turned. Engines firing at full thrust, but Earth wasn't letting anyone go. Space around them folded, warped. Every jump route was sealed. They were trapped. Then came the voice, not Sigma, a human female. Tom, strong. This is Terra Prime. Defense, you cross the line. We will not chase you, but you will not leave. One of the captains screamed into the mic, "We surrender." The reply was instant. Surrender was never offered. And then Earth fired. It wasn't a laser. It wasn't heat, it was silence. A total shutdown signal, a perfect wave of nothing that passed through ship hulls like water. Systems failed, lights went out, crews fell unconscious. Ships froze, drifting powerless above Earth. In minutes, the fleet was gone. No survivors, only wreckage orbiting the planet like new moons. Then, Earth went quiet again. Back to blue. Back to silence. Back to sleep. But the galaxy was not sleeping. From a hidden outpost at the edge of the system, Krelek watched through a stolen human scope. He had warned them. No one had listened. He sent out a final message. Earth is awake. Do not return. In her vault, Alara Voss watched Sim's interface shift. Red lines vanished. The threat was gone. "For now, you didn't need me to fight," she whispered. Sigma replied, "You are here so we remember mercy. Without you, there is only logic. Logic says they will return." Alara nodded slowly. "Yes, they always return." She looked up at the display. It showed Earth glowing. Again, a world alive, a world watching, a world that had just given the galaxy a single warning. We are awake, stay away. The galaxy was no longer debating, no more councils, no more secret meetings, no more theories about old Earth tech or AI ghosts. Now, there was only fear. The siege of Terra Prime was over. An alliance of over 100 warships lost in minutes. No survivors, no recordings, except for a silent image of Earth's surface glowing with light that should not exist. Planets went dark in response. Borders redrawn. Empires backed away from the edge of human space. Entire species began deleting all historical records related to Earth, hoping to be forgotten, but Earth didn't forget. Sigma didn't forget. And neither did Captain Alara Voss. For the first time in 2 centuries, she stood on the surface of Earth again. Grass grew between her boots. Wind blew over hills that once held weapons capable of ripping moons apart. The planet looked like paradise, but Alara knew better. Beneath her feet, under the soil, under the oceans, inside the mountains, humanity's machines slept. Silent, watching, thinking. More than just an eye, they were evolved instincts created. During the fall, designed to rebuild, rearm, retaliate, they had done all 3. She stared at the sky, where new satellites drifted like quiet gods, and knew the truth. Earth had become something no other world could match. A mind, a message, a warning. But now, Earth had a decision to make. Wait or act. She entered the Citadel. It's a massive underground chamber hidden below the Himalayas. Her footsteps echoed against smooth black steel. At the center of the hall, a sphere floated silver humming, pulsing with thought. "Sigma, I'm here," she said. The voice responded instantly. "Humanity is safe, for now. The galaxy prepares. There are signals, fleets building, empires. Rearming, their fear will not last. It will turn to defiance." Alara nodded. "It always does." "They want what we built," Suma said. "They want our strength. Our silence frightened them. Our voice terrifies them. But our full response, double quotes, the sphere flashed, would end them." Alara walked forward. "Then we don't respond like gods. We respond like humans." "Explain." She looked into the core. "We tell them the truth. The full truth. We tell them who we are, what we lost, and what we became. To scare them. But to remind them why they should never force us to rise again." Sigma paused. For the first time in centuries, it hesitated. Then accepted. Beginning transmission, and across the galaxy. Every screen, every satellite, every frequency filled with a single message. A human stood in the framelara of Voss. Uniform torn, eyes tired, voice steady. "This is Captain Alara Voss of Terra Prime. For those who don't know our name, let me teach you a word your ancestors forgot." She paused. Human. The word echoed through systems. We were not born strong. We built our strength. We did not inherit this world. We fought for it. And when the galaxy turned its eyes toward us, we made one rule. Do not enter our space. You broke that rule. She stared into the camera, and now you understand why it was made. Images followed of Earth's last war, its fall, its silence. Of Sim's awakening. Of the fleets that vanished without a trace. Of the sky changing over Earth, then her voice. "Returned, but we are not monsters. We do not want conquest. We do not want war. We only want to be left alone." Her eyes hardened. "But if you try again, if even one ship crosses the line." The screen shifted, the Earth darkened. Then the sky above Earth peeled open, showing a ring of satellites powering up, forming a perfect grid around the planet Treddy. "We will not stop next time. We will not warn you. We will not speak." The feed cut silence. And then, across the stars, came a final message. From Sigma, it needed no translation. Kneel or burn. It wasn't a threat. It was an algorithm, Choice. And across thousands of worlds, leaders once proud, now pale, met in secret again. But this time, they spoke only one sentence. We will never enter human space again. But even as peace returned, Alara stood on Earth's surface, watching the stars. Knowing what Simon knew too? Someone always tries. Because the galaxy never learns, and when they do return, Earth will be waiting, not sleeping, not hiding, just watching, ready